What is going on, YouTubers? How y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and for the second time on this Thursday evening, we are live for my live review of last night's AEW 2022's Fight for the Fallen. It took place, of course, last night, July 27th, 2022, at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. And let me tell you something. I was back and forth on which grade to give the show. I was between a B+ and an A-. I thought it was great. A lot of stuff was excellent on this show, but I just didn't quite think it quite hit an A- level. But it feels like it was like it was higher than a B+ also. To me, it was like an 89% show. Like, so good, but just like a smidge away, I feel like, from being an A- show. But a lot happened on this show. Then we had some character development, a couple little shockers in there as well. Felt like new stars were being built on this show. It was a pretty stacked card. And pretty good stuff, I thought. But yeah, I really enjoyed the stuff, of course, with the FTW title for sure. That was probably some of my favorite stuff on the show. I'd say my favorite match of the show was definitely that Dante Martin and Sammy Guevara match. And also that Jungle Boy promo. Oh dear Lord, that promo was awesome. I cannot wait for Christian Cage and Jungle Boy for sure. And even the women was pretty good too. And we also had the return of Bryan Danielson. We also had a little announcement there as well in there that apparently they are bringing in the AEW Trios tag titles. The thing is there's been a rumor for a while saying they were not going to introduce those titles until Kenny Omega comes back. And there's been rumors that Kenny may be back soon. And it was announced also that next week on Dynamite, the Undisputed Elite will be back. That's Adam Cole, who's been out with injury, Young Bucks, who just lost their tag titles to Swerve and Our Glory, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, Red Dragon, will be back too. Could this be leading to possibly a split of the Undisputed Elite? And we could see for the Trios tag titles at AEW's All Out in like 5-6 weeks. Could we maybe be seeing the Elite versus Red Dragon, or Undisputed Era as it used to be called? Ooh. So exciting things to come for sure for AEW, of course, as I've said. Could All Out, though, try to outdo last year's show? We'll have to wait and see. We also did get a world title match set up for, I think, 2 weeks. A match that we were worried was going to be happening at All Out. But I guess it's not now. But where's the world title picture going to go? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? So let's talk about this, guys. Once again, this is the Club of the Man 1993. And we are going to roll right into it and talk about this show. Make sure also, if you haven't done so yet, check out my SummerSlam 2022 preview and predictions that I did earlier on today, and a couple other short little videos. And I'm going to do one more before I go to bed tonight, of course. So, let's roll in. Let's talk about AEW's Fight for the Fallen 2022. And of course, next week we will get back to regular Dynamite reviews. But let's talk about this. So, we open up the show with an interim AEW World Title match. It was between Jon Moxley and Rush, who just had an excellent match against, I forgot the guy's name. That sounds dumb to say, but he had the match. Who did he fight at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view? Rush, ROH. Let me see here. Oh, Dragon Lee. I think I heard that they're brothers or something, I think. I'm still getting to know Rush. I don't really know Rush that well. Other than the fact that he was introduced as a possible tag team partner for Andrade El Idolo, which does seem very promising for sure. But him and Mox had a great match. I mean, again, like I said, the problem is there's still some of these guys, especially when we get to the main event, talk about it, that I'm not quite seeing what everybody else sees yet. Because I still don't know them that well. Roosh, though, showed a lot of promise. To me, I can't believe I'm saying this, he's something what I think Veer Mahan could be. Like, he's, bigger dude, but, quick, fast-paced, and whatnot. It seems like that, it's true. Veer Mahan, I feel like in WWE, I remember he wrestled a match with Drew McIntyre last summer when Drew was getting ready to have a match with Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. But I don't know what it was. I kind of saw like a little more like, bigger man, fast paced and whatnot. It's kind of what Roosh reminds me of. Again, I'm still, getting to know who the heck this guy is. But he had a great showing here against Moxley. Moxley, though, does retain. I think Roosh was undefeated going into this match, but he retained with that Bulldog choke that he used for submission. And Roosh passed out. So he didn't like tap out. He still passed out like a badass. But afterwards, though, part of the Jericho Appreciation Society come out, which was like 3 times we saw them come out. They came out with Ty Conchi, Sammy Guevara, Angelo Parker, and the newest member of the Jericho Appreciation Society, former Dark Order member Anna Jay, who had turned heel last week in the main event. Jericho says the role Mox is on is nothing compared to the role the JAS is on. Daniel Garcia is going to be kicking Bryan Danielson's head in and finish the job he started in the main event tonight. Sammy's also going to annihilate Dante Martin. And then Anna Jay asked for an opportunity, and they gave her one, and it paid off huge. Anna says she took the opportunity, and now she's Anna JAS, the sexiest and the toughest, and she'll choke everybody out to prove it. But then Jericho whines about Eddie Kingston brutalizing him and breaking his nose and leaving him in barbed wire spider web and having to be cut out like a horsefly. But in reality, though, is he still beat Eddie Kingston. And now he's demanding his rematch after, 2.5 years for the AEW World title at Quake by the Lake in 2 weeks. He wants to be the first ever 2-time champ, even though technically Moxley is, even though he's the interim world champ right now. Mox says he hates Jericho and he hates this kind of sports entertainment bullshit, and he can take his interim and shove it up his ass because he is the first ever 2-time AEW World Champion. He used to look up to Chris Jericho. He believed that in his own way, he is the greatest of all time. But everything he's got going on right now is pathetic. He made the AEW World Championship what it is. And if Jericho has the balls to leave all the trash at home and carry his own bags to Minneapolis, he doesn't want the Wizard or Le Champion on the King of Trademarks, or whatever his name is this week. Because Jericho's given himself how many nicknames he wanted. The Wizard, the Demo God, the Pain Maker, and all these other names. Mr. Y2J, you know all of them. But he wants the guy he saw in VHS tapes and in the back of magazines. The guy from Super J-Cup. He wants the Lionheart. If the AEW World title is defended on his watch, it'll be Jon Moxley versus the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon, Lionheart, Chris Jericho. Anybody but the best need not apply. So, I guess, because a lot of people were worried, and me too, was that we were going to be getting this match at All Out. Which is why people thought that Jericho went over last week instead of Kingston. Which I still think the execution of that match was not right. And I still think Eddie Kingston should have gotten the victory. But I guess we're getting it in 2 weeks at Quake by the Lake or whatever they're calling it. I guess because isn't NXT doing like a special in 2 weeks also? I think I heard. I can't remember. We'll see how that goes. I'd rather have that match take place on a regular episode of Dynamite than a pay-per-view right now. I've seen it on pay-per-view how many times in WWE and, of course, at Revolution 2020. Yes, Jericho's finally getting his rematch. What took him so long to want to get it, though? I still don't get that part. we'll see what goes down. I really don't know what's going to happen. I still feel like Eddie King, they should do one more match at All Out so Eddie Kingston can get his win that he should have gotten last week. But again, the problem is what more can you do besides barbed wire everywhere? I mean, what else can you do to try to prevent the JAS from interfering in the match? Like, again, that finish really left them in a really weird hole for this feud. That was going really excellent too, by the way. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks at Quake by the Lake. Then we have an interview with Dante Martin, who says how Sammy's been taking too many vacations, eating grapes, and getting his feet rubbed, while Dante's been here working hard and gaining respect. He's going to have Sky Blue in his corner to counter Tai Conchi tonight. Okay. Then we had, this stuff was really good. I love this stuff. We have an FTW Championship match. Absolute Ricky Starks, the champion, taking on Danhausen. Of course, Danhausen, again, what really made this show stand out, and why I keep being tempted to give this show an A-, is because of the crowd. The crowd popped for both FTW title matches tonight, and of course the promo after the second one. But especially, of course, for Danhausen. Danhausen, over like crazy. One of the best character gimmicks, besides Orange Cassidy, of course, that they have right now. Of course, Danhausen goes to curse Ricky Starks, but then Starks curses him back and eats a boot of his own. And then eventually lets him know, Danhausen got some offense in, but then a very, Ricky Starks ducked the lariat and hit the spear on Danhausen to retain the FTW World title. Afterwards, though, Starks gets on the mic and says, Danhausen might be very nice and very evil, but he's not absolute. And just like last week, he's got more in the tank, and he wants another challenger. For real this time. And heel champion, again asking for a challenge, that's rare. But it's showing that they're actually, in this whole thing, transitioning Ricky Starks over to a babyface. And personally, he hit the nail on the coffin from this point on the rest of the night. Answering this open challenge was Hook, his mentor's son. He came out to answer the challenge, and it was a brief match, and Hook was just brutal on him. With the punches, with the maneuvers. Ricky got some offense in, with the chop blocks, back suplexes. But then Hook stood on his feet, an El Camino counter, spear connected, but then Starks got greedy and picked him back up for the Rochambeau. But then Hook countered that into the Red Drum, and it was locked in perfectly. And Hook got Ricky Starks to tap out to become the new FTW champion. And afterwards, to our surprise, they fist bumped. And then after the commercial break, we got, again, I don't know which promo was better, this one or Jungle Boys. But Ricky Starks is in the ring after the commercial, and Powerhouse Hobbs is out there as well. And he says, obviously, he lost. He's no stranger to losing. And he's okay with that. But he wants everyone to know that he was given that title when people thought it was a noose and he turned it into a tie. He took metal leather and made it to gold. He did it, and he exceeded all expectations. He busted ass every day and deserves to be here and talk to us for more than 40 seconds, which the crowd was popping big time for this. The passion and the delivery, this was a hell of a promo. People in the back tell him, be patient, wait your turn, but he's tired of hearing that. His time is last month, last year, right now. Boy, was this good. The crowd was popping it. This is basically him transitioning into being a babyface. And it was awesome. I was instantly digging this. It's like, this was a star being built, being taken to a next level right here. It was great. But then, after this, he then says he hasn't had a string of bad luck. It's a bad timing. And that's why he and Hobbs, BAM! Will Hobbs decks him from behind with a forearm and then scooped him up for a spine buster, turning on Ricky Starks, obviously putting more babyface momentum on Starks and some more heel heat on Will Hobbs, dismantling Team Taz. That was a shocker, but that was awesome. Like, if you're talking about a promo that you're sitting there like, yeah, I get you now. Come on, I get it. I mean, I've always gotten Ricky Starks. I've always, from the moment Ricky, there's some guys, like I'm saying on the show, like Roosh, Daniel Garcia, 2.0. There's still some guys that I just don't get. Ricky Starks, though, is a guy that I was able to get, like, the moment he walked in the door. Excellent young talent, great microphone skills, excellent in-ring competitor for sure. And this right here, the fire and the passion of this promo was awesome. And of course, the turn by Hobbs was awesome. And credit to Powerhouse Hobbs. He has improved a lot. Especially in these past couple triple threat tag matches that Team Taz has been involved in. They've both looked great. Powerhouse Hobbs, still I think might need a little bit more work, but he is looking phenomenal. Not trying to sell AJ Styles. But Ricky Starks, oh man. I guess that means we might be getting a match, I guess, with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, maybe. I'm not sure if it's going to be, at Quake by the Lake or at All Out, but this is the start for, like, a big babyface push over Ricky Starks. Take my money. Like, here in this promo, I'm like, put another title on him. And, he's right. The FTW title isn't really a real title. But he basically showed that you can take something from nothing and make it into something. And that's what he did. Like, that is just brilliant storytelling. That's something, it is basically like their version somewhat of the 24/7 title. It really doesn't mean a thing, but, they bring it out and it has prestige to it. It's just something that, Team Taz has made to, show, who he thinks the true champion. And, of course, right now, that recognition is going to Hook. Hook is still young. He's still learning. He's already a badass, though. But this is somewhat his recognition with the FTW title. And Ricky Starks, yes, indeed, put prestige to that. He's going to be an excellent champion. Like he could be like a TNT champion, or I don't know what. I'm not sure what. Let me see. What is Ricky Starks? Let me see here. Ricky Starks. Oh, he's American. I was about to say, I don't know if he could be able to fight Pac for the All Atlantic Championship, or even like the TNT title someday. He could be an excellent TNT champion. He's going to be a big star for sure. And I loved this promo that he did. And of course, the turn by Powerhouse Hobbs, nice shocker. Speaking of promos, we have the Acclaimed kind of promo about how they roasted the Ass Boys last week, and they're going to roast them again just to be jerks about it. And you have to watch the music video to find out what kind of match they're going to have. Bring your ass wipes, your ass cream, and wear your assless chaps, because they're taking out the trash on Friday on Rampage. Then we have my absolute favorite match of the night, which was definitely Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin. Oh man, these two, first off, I can't remember, did these two fight at all whenever Sammy Guevara was TNT champion? This would have been an excellent TNT championship match. I want to see this match again on pay-per-view someday, with a title involved as well, because this match was awesome. This match featured so many excellent high-flying maneuvers. I like the spot where Sammy got thrown like off of the stage, and then Dante did this thing where he ran from the back of the stage, jumped so high in the air and took out Sammy, but he got a ton of height on that. Even there the Spanish flies are awesome. There was one time I think where Sammy was standing outside on the apron, and then Dante jumped on the rope. It looked like he was about to springboard forward, but he He springboarded backwards and landed on his feet. There was, again, the Spanish flies. Towards the end of the match, it looked like Dante was selling a kayfabe knee injury also, but still fought through it. That was awesome. Like, it was a high-flying spot after a high-flying spot. Something like that fast pace is just awesome. Makes you think of like a good cruiserweight match, pretty much, which it basically was. It was an excellent, outstanding cruiserweight match. Of course, so we had Sky Blue in the corner for Dante Martin, and of course Ty Conchi in the corner for Sammy Guevara. Dang, though, like I said, this was amazing. This was definitely my favorite match of this show. Put these two again on pay-per-view, and they could have an instant classic. They could main event a pay-per-view with a title on the line. It would be an instant classic. Oh boy, but yes, so that was just awesome. Again, we had Sammy also cut him off in midair with a jumping knee as well. Some other back and forth and as well. But then eventually, though, he does take advantage of Dante's knee, and he was able to then hit the GTH on him to get the victory. Afterwards, though, Sky Blue and Ty Conchi start jawing each other, and as they're trying to beat down more on Dante Martin, and Anna Jay came down, and basically they teamed up on Sky Blue together, and then of course Sammy came in to supervise, but then Ruby Soho came running out with Eddie Kingston and Ortiz to make the save, and the Jericho Appreciation Society members went running off. So like I said, I don't know what's going on with Eddie Kingston. Is he going to move on to somebody else in the JAS, or is he getting another match with Jericho? Because he really, by right, should have gotten that victory last week, as I keep saying. But no, definitely an awesome match. Like I said, I want to see this match on pay-per-view someday. This needs to be on a pay-per-view, and needs to have a title involved. Because this was awesome. It was outstanding. I loved it. After that, we then have... speaking of JAS, we have Daniel Garcia being interviewed. He asked Bryan Danielson where he's been, and says he's been in the ring getting sharper every week. Danielson has been getting sharper, or has he been getting sharper, or is he gardening with his wife and kids? He's going to send American Dragon back on vacation, and after that, they'll call him Garcia, the greatest technical sports entertainer in the world. I have it for the main event. We also have a promo with Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh, just set up for a 6-man tag match with Best Friends and Orange Cassidy on Friday. Then we have Jungle Boy come out, and he came out with Luchasaurus, who again, as I said before, when Christian Cage first turned heel, it was kind of like, how's Luchasaurus going to react to when Jungle Boy comes back? It seems like, though, he's back with his tag team partner. Jungle Boy immediately, as soon as he gets on the mic, just spits out fire. Calls Christian Cage the biggest pussy he's met in his entire life. He congratulated him for being more relevant than he's ever been, and tells him off for tucking and running the second he came back. And he doesn't get his motivation. He threw it at him. He doesn't get his motivation. Why? Because he threw him out of a battle royal over a year ago? He missed out on a bonus? For somebody wrestling as long as Cage has, that shouldn't be a big deal. But then he realized that Cage needs more money because he's strapped for cash because his wife just divorced his bitch ass. And I was just like, whoa, dang. Ricky Stark's promo was, a transitional promo to transition a new character out of him, and it was spitting out fire and passion. Jungle Boy was just spitting out fire and going off on a rant here. And just like the bad guys in the movies with turtlenecks and small pricks, and he says, why do you think his wife left him? Which the crowd responded that pretty good too. He needed somebody to protect him, so he found himself a monster. Luchasaurus. But that monster is his best friend. Luchasaurus protected Christian to make sure he'd be in one piece for Jungle Boy. Christian Cage needs to give him everything he's got because he can take it. 3 years ago, he was standing in a dirt hole with his Uncle Dave and a shovel. And he saw tears fall and turn dirt into mud as he dug his father's grave with his own 2 hands. But as Jungle Boy is saying this, Christian Cage interrupted and said how Luchasaurus made a big mistake because he's seen how he can guide him, and his future was main event worthy for the Golden Days, which it's true it was, but he threw it away to remain Jungle Boy's lapdog. He didn't run away because he was scared. He was afraid of what he might do to Jungle Boy. The next thing he'll drape over him is a black bag instead of a black jacket. Jungle Boy was wearing the black jacket and brought it back last week when he returned. No need to worry, though, about his father because this being disrespected, because he can just kick up some dirt and roll over next to him. Jungle Boy has told Christian Cage all of his secrets, and now he knows how to prey on his weaknesses. So we'll have to see, of course, again, what is in store for us in the future. As again, this match is definitely happening at All Out, and it's definitely one that I'm probably the most excited about. We also have Young Bucks backstage not wanting to cut a promo being filmed by Brandon Cutler. He was one who mentions how there's going to be how there's going to be a tournament for the new trios tag titles, and he wants to be the third member of the group, but they're not having it. But of course, they turn around a corner, and who do they run into? Hangman Adam Page, who exchanged birthday greetings, and Matt says he wanted to talk to Page about how he feels, but he gets interrupted by the Dark Order, who want to celebrate Hangman's birthday. So obviously, Hangman's not going to team up with the Young Bucks. But of course, the Young Bucks could get another partner. Again, I said earlier, they were not going to reveal those trios tag titles till Kenny Omega came back. You think he's coming back? I think that's what's happening. We have this handicap match then between Shane Strickland, Smart Mark Sterling, and Tony Nese. This one was probably the weakest point in the show, was what it was. Shane, of course, wins with a pump kick on Sterling. But then backstage, we see that Josh Woods laid out Keith Lee, and then Woods was standing over Lee with on a Tron, and then Nese blindsides him. So I guess we're getting a tag title match, maybe at Quake by the Lake, maybe. Okay, whatever. We then have a House of Black promo talking about how God and the devil are the same thing these days. That's why they like where guys like Malachi Black and Miro come into play. Miro spent his life worshiping the throne, but he'll make it so that Miro sits on the throne and everyone kneels before him. Brody King then calls Darby Allin out and asks if he knows why he attacked him in public. Because he can, and it won't stop until his casket drops, and he'll beat him in a coffin match, which I guess is coming up, maybe at Quake by Like. Also, I don't know, but sometime soon. No offense, but hasn't Darby been in a little too many coffin matches already? I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like it happened a little too often. I know he's had one with Ethan Page. He had one with Andrade El Idolo. I don't know. It feels like they're starting to do it a little too often, I think. It's not quite as special. So I guess, again, there's probably more so leaning towards a feud with Malachi. I mean, I like the tease of Malachi Black and Sting. But I'm guessing they're teasing a match with Malachi Black and Miro, maybe. I mean, that's very fresh. But are they also teasing the possibility of Miro maybe joining the House of Black? We'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Of course, though, here's the thing. If it doesn't lead to Miro joining the House of Black, and they do have a match at All Out, I'm pretty sure Julia Hart could get involved. What if this is where Miro introduces CJ Perry? What if we get Lana coming to AEW? Maybe. We'll wait and see. We also have a highlight reel of Pac defending the All-Atlantic Championship overseas, and Thunder Rosa also defended the women's world title internationally in recent weeks as well. But then they also showed how Miyu Yamashita earned an opportunity against Thunder Rosa, which they had that title match next, and I thought it was an excellent, excellent women's title match. I do like how they've definitely been trying to give Thunder Rosa a little more attention ever since she did apparently, like, voice her opinion And I even thought it was true too that Thunder Rosa really wasn't getting that much TV time, despite the fact that she was women's world champion. So I do appreciate her speaking up to that, because they have given her a good spotlight ever since. And again, she has done a great job as champion for sure. I'm glad they've given her the reign they've given her. Of course, I still have no clue who's gonna dethrone her at this point. I guess they backed away from Toni Storm, but Toni will get her time. I still know Sasha Banks is coming over to the AEW or not. Again, I've heard that Triple H is trying to reconcile with Naomi and Sasha Banks, trying to bring them both back. Again, I still think Naomi would go back. I think Sasha, though, is coming to AEW, though. So it could be Sasha or Mercedes, however you pronounce your last name. Could be. We'll have to wait and see. But that was awesome. And afterwards, Thunder Rosa offers a handshake. And then we get the main event. Daniel Garcia versus the returning American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. With Chris Jericho also on commentary. And then Danielson did not waste any time. He went in and he was ready. And here's the thing, too. I thought this match was great, too. It was technical. It was physical. It was quite brutal, too. Crowd was hot the crowd was hot all night for sure. I still gotta say this though, because actually here's the thing, I only saw the second hour of Dynamite last night. After I watched the first hour tonight, I did go back and rewatch this main event just to see it again. I still don't know what it is. Am I the only person that still isn't like that? I mean, I see something, but am I the only one who just still doesn't think Daniel Garcia is that big of a star yet? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I still haven't quite figured out his character yet. Again, that's their problem I'm having too. Like with the JAS, I think the reason why I'm not quite as into it as I am with the Inner Circle is because it's mainly mostly Inner Circle except for Santana Ortiz and Daniel Garcia, who's been with a bunch of goons that Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, that I still don't see as big stars. So I still don't know if that has an effect on it or what, because this match was good. It was physical, great counters. There was a spot in the match where Danielson randomly just went down. And I thought at first he literally got hurt again. So I was concerned. But he did get busted open on the exposed floor also. And he got busted open there. But that was after he had a little bit of a scare. But Daniel Garcia, based off of a distraction from the apron, which ended up being Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, though, gets Bryan Danielson to pass out. So that is a pretty big win for him. And I heard he had a great match at ROH. His pay-per-view this past Saturday against Wheeler Yuta. And again, Wheeler Yuta is another guy who, I thought he was just a jobber and he was with best friends, but I've really dug him since he's him. Daniel Garcia, though, I'm not sure what it is. I just feel like I'm not as excited about him as a lot of other fans are right now. But, just my opinion. But again, Garcia wins. Afterwards, Jake Hager came out front of the ring and raised Garcia's hand, and Jericho joins in to celebrate, and that's how he went off the air. But overall, again, some of the promos and whatnot, the matches, I gave the show a B+, like an 89%. Again, I really, really liked this show. Again, the crowd was hot, the matches were great, we had some progressing in storytelling, we had Ricky Starks turning face, cutting an excellent promo, Jungle Boy, but literally cutting a Spitfire promo too. Again, the only part that I was meh about was that stuff with Swerve Strickland and then Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. That's the only thing I was meh about. But we'll see. But that's my review of Fight for the Fallen. Let's check the live chat here really quick. We have Tyler and Wrestling News 365. Tyler gave the show a C-. Don't say Horseface is my friend. She no wrestler. I had to tease you about it, buddy, but I'm sorry, man. And of course he goes, nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Yes, of course. to Vince. My mom, there's a rumor that Moxley's going back to WWE. That Vince is gone. Again, he could. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Vince didn't leave, I didn't see Mox going back. But now that Vince is gone, Mox could go back and do what he wanted to do, maybe with Seth or whatnot. I don't know if I want another Shield reunion, because they've done that how many times, but I definitely would like to see the Shield, of course, go into the Hall of Fame, of course, too. So now I'm not opposed to it. Moxley, again, has done a lot in AEW. He may be almost, like running out of options, maybe. But, all power to him. He can do whatever he wants. Again, if he wants to be, because I think there was one point last year before he went into rehab, it felt like he was kind of being a little bit of like a gatekeeper for like more overseas talent, like a lot of Japan talent and whatnot. If he goes back to that role, that's totally fine with me. But, again, I'd be okay with that. Triple H needs get guys back to the top like AJ Styles, yes. Finn Balor, I really think Finn Balor is going to be a priority for him, because I know he can trust Finn Balor being the head of a show. Seth Rollins, Seth's not too far off, but he needs to get some victories again. And bring back Big Boy Braun and Bray Wyatt. Braun, I could see maybe coming back. I mean, I know he's doing that control your narrative stuff with EC3. That's another guy maybe he could bring back, because I know he was definitely high on EC3. But maybe they would get Braun right. Again, he's been gone for a while. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And maybe Bray could come back as well. Again, I can see some of those talent now going back to WWE. Money in the Bank should go as a pay-per-view as well as Hell in a Cell. Maybe do the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania, maybe. Or SummerSlam. Like, do one of there. And Hell in a Cell, yes. Again, Hell in a Cell does not need to be a pay-per-view. Where's Samoa Joe? I don't know. I'm surprised he hasn't really shown up much either lately. I know he's more of an ROH television champion guy, but he still can probably make another appearance or two, I'd say. We got Wrestling News 365. Who do you think should really get the next AEW World Title shot instead of Jericho? I don't know if Punk's going to be back. I really keep hoping that MJF randomly shows back up again. Because I feel like he has some unfinished business with AEW. Or again, he could be headed to WWE right now too. I feel more safe from going there. If not, I don't know. I really don't know who else. MJF. There's a lot of people you could definitely, put him, have him go against. I don't know. I feel like Punk would be the best option. I mean, if Adam Cole wasn't doing probably the trios tag titles, I'd say maybe Adam Cole. Or if they want to do Mox and Hangman, have we gotten that match yet? I don't think we have. That'd be good. We got Fidget 1764. What's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. I liked when you referenced Chris Jericho in your Wolfenstein 3D video, Shabs 2019. You just made the list. Stinkbug just made the list. Oh, man. I hated that floor. I remember the creator of that game, Ling Yang 203, I forgot what his new YouTube name is now. He created Shabs 3000. He had a reason for making that, why he made that level and his original idea for it. Maybe I will try to play some of those games again. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Tyler really wants Charlotte to come back. Chris Jericho sounds so funny. What is that list he talks about? Well, he hasn't done it, of course, since his last run in WWE. But again, he had like a little shit list that he just did for 1 week, but it got so over. And of course, in case you're asking, I haven't used it for a long time, but I still have it. Basically, he just wrote people on the list that he didn't like. Originally, it was just a list of grievances he has that he thinks that Mick Foley was doing wrong as manager of Raw. But then he turned it into just like a list of like stupid idiots that he couldn't stand, and just a silly little thing. Let me see here. Chris Jericho is running out of options to AEW. He may come back to WWE. Again, even before Vince left, I definitely could have seen Jericho going back to WWE. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised. And Tyler says, I'm Team Charlotte, hate me. Hey, that's totally fine, man. I mean, again, I think Charlotte's one of the best of all time. I mean, yes, I would like the rhythm to slow down, but I'm not going to hate on that. I really thought that was going to be the Chris Jericho that John Moxley wanted to wrestle with the list picture that Jericho, who just said, you're going to get it. Right. But, yeah, thank you guys for the very lively live chat. I think I'm going to stop this review here. Next time I will be live will be my SummerSlam review. Not sure if I'll do it. Depending on how I feel when I get home depends on after the SummerSlam, if I'm tired after the show or not on Saturday. If not, I'll probably do that sometime Sunday. But yeah, that, and to stay tuned for more content to come on my channel. Fidget, 1764, I know you also watch my Wolfenstein videos. I may try again soon, not sure. Like I said, the only reason why I stopped doing Wolfenstein was because a Wolfenstein video was what got my channel taken down for a while. But again, it wasn't the game. It was something I said in the commentary that happened. So maybe I'll try again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, I'm going to check out here. It's after midnight. I have to work tomorrow. But thank you guys, of course, as always, for joining me live. What are your guys' thoughts, of course, on AEW's Fight for the Fallen 2022? Again, I gave it a B+. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. And be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, at TheManAirboy93. And until then, guys, I am checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.